hello, how are you? Now look, I have to keep this brief because I'm still in London and we still don't have the technology, which is bizarre. A fine big city like this, you think it would, but anyway, it doesn't. I've been having the most amazing time. I've been in loco parentis of Emma and her pal, and we have seen wonders that we never saw before, like Dirty Dancing. And last Sunday we went to the Strictly Live show, which was just so wonderful. Oh my God, it gave me all the feels that the series does. And Danny Mac won the night I was there, which just seemed right, you know. And I have to tell you about last night. Now, this is actually Sunday, because on Monday I have the meeting of doom with my publisher about my new book. Now, she says I need to do a month's more work on the book, which is grand, really, and then it'll be done. But yes, so last night was Saturday in my time, and Emma wanted to go to see The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. And I read the book years ago, and I remember liking it, but I don't remember the first thing about it. And so we went, but Emma had new shoes, and so we walked, you see. And it's not a long walk from where we're staying, but still, by the time she got to the place, her feet was all blisters because of the shoes, you see. Now, the play was fabulous, but all the time, because when you're in loco parentis, you do nothing but worry, am I right? Apart from when you're having a lovely time. And so I was thinking, God, poor Emma. We'd bought her plasters in a shop on the way down, but they weren't adequate. You know, they weren't adequate. But that was all that was available. And I was worrying about how we'd get her home. And I was thinking, the taxis, the traffics in the West Ends, you know, on the Saturday night, they won't bring us. And then I was thinking about the tuk-tuks, do you know, where the men's cycle. Now, I have seen this around central London for some years, but I have never gone on one because I've always felt it's really mean. I don't know, the thought of another person cycling me feels abusive almost. Do you remember that Ali G thing where he went to Paula Abdul's house and he persuaded her to sit on his colleague? His colleague went on all fours, and Paula Abdul sat on the person like the person was a chair. That's kind of how I feel. But I thought, look, we'll have to put Emma in one because there's no way she can walk. So we came out, and there was a tuk-tuk lad, and a man, a very nice man. And I thought, I can't send Emma off on her own. So I said, would he take Emma, who weighs the same as a loaf of bread, and me and my heft, would he be able for the two of us? And he said, yeah, he'd be able for the three of us, because himself was there as well. And I said, oh God, no, you can't take that lump of a fella. I said to himself, you start walking, you're well able. Sure, look, if you walked up Mount Kenya, you'll be well able for the walk home. And so we get into the tuk-tuk, and there's even a blanket, and then the man started playing songs. Now, I didn't recognise the songs, but I consulted Emma, and she told me the songs was Ed Sheeran songs. And this came as a big surprise to me, because I always thought he was just a standy there being, you know, kind of playing his guitar. But this had production and stuff, and it was lovely. And then we passed himself on the road, and the man said himself could get in. And so the three of us were in it, and it was the most magical, it was one of the most wonderful things that ever happened to me. We went through the back streets of Soho, and it was like being in a film, because your man, there was people everywhere, all interesting Soho types, and your man, the cyclist, was weaving around the people, and it was sort of like a car chase, but maybe on a tuk-tuk, where there was ducks and stalls of vegetables, except there was people. And it was like being in a really romantic thing, except it was me and himself and Emma, but that made it even better. And the songs was playing, and I felt, you know, more happy than I have ever been. And I'm not saying this as a boasty thing, but as a thing of, because whenever I come back to London, I'm reminded of how really, really frightened and terrible I felt at the worst of the bad times, the war years. And I never thought I'd feel normal again. And I feel better than normal. I feel you see, if normal is here, last night I was up there, and it was lovely. And, you know, if you are going through the horrors in whatever way, you know, it's possible to get past it, to transcend it. If you hang around, you know, it can get better. And really, it was one of the nicest nights of my life. And it was £15 and it was worth every penny of it, every brass farthing of it. And so that's kind of it. I mean, I've loads to tell you. We went to Broadway Market yesterday, one of the hipstery markets, to see them. It's like a hipster safari park, you know? Like, you know, you see hipsters in zoos and things, but when you actually see them in the wild, it's, Jesus, it's just so, the impact, you know, it's just. But the first thing we did was, well, I went to a chemist. Also, I must apologise, I've lost my comb. I feel like old woman who famously had to comb her hair with a fork one time when we had all stolen her combs and it was a holy day of obligation and she could not go to mass with uncombed hair. So a fork had to be called into loco comus. So next Monday I will be back in Dublin. Normal service will be resumed. I hope you're well. I know I have loads to tell you, but I could only remember the tuk-tuk business because it was just so fabulous. I have been living life to the full and not in a euphemistic way. But actually after the meeting of doom tomorrow, I will not be living life to the full at all. I will be roaring, crying and in bed and saying I'm a failure and then working hard for a month. And then it'll all be grand. And I have started my Helen Walsh book, except I can't do that anymore. Emma says I have to do a kind of, but you need two people for it. I have to go like this with my hand and they have to go like that with their hand. We have to go like that. It's marvellous, the young people. The young people are marvellous. So I hope you're well. I do. I'm sorry it's all a bit, but it's lovely. It's lovely. Thank you.